Welcome to the AI Ireland podcast, your window into the world of AI innovation on the island of Ireland. Join us as we explore how AI is harnessed to tackle both business and societal challenges, revealing the cutting-edge solutions emerging from this vibrant AI community. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates and insights in the world of AI. Hello everybody, it's Mark Kelly, CEO and founder of AI Ireland. I hope you are well wherever you are in the world today. I'd like to welcome you to the AI Ireland podcast, where we explore the critical intersections of artificial intelligence within various industries on the island of Ireland. Today we have the distinguished guest, Vlad Constantinescu, who's the head of data science at Getvisibility. Getvisibility is not only innovating at the realm of AI for managing unstructured data, but it's also been recognized for their contributions to ethical AI practices, as they are finalists in the AI ethics category for this year's Artificial Intelligence Awards, which will be held November the 21st at the Gibson Hotel. Their work is pushing the boundaries of how organizations can securely and responsibly manage data in an increasingly complex landscape. Vlad, it's great to have you on the podcast today. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much for having me. And it's great to be nominated in this category. It's a new direction for us, and it's kind of leveraging the work that we've been doing for quite some time.
Tell us a little bit about Getvisibility's AI platform and what are the complex problems that you're looking to try to address with unstructured legacy data for organizations, and what's your unique approach there?
Right. So there's so much to say here. I would just start off by saying that unstructured data is this big thing that's coming for us because we're now entering the generative AI era. And a lot of the information that we see out there inside corporations, inside businesses, inside organizations is going to be more and more so generated by machine learning systems, essentially. Companies will rely for basic processes on all kinds of chatbots, generative AI, workflow managers, and so on. So we could see what is already a large landscape of unstructured data becoming many orders of magnitude larger. So what we're doing in this space is we're trying to use machine learning technology to understand the data. And we've started off as a security, and we are a cybersecurity company. Our main focus is in cybersecurity and compliance. So we're understanding the data for the purpose of suggesting where there could be data at risk, or for DSPM. We started off as DSPM, and now we're like data governance more, and so on. But we're really acknowledging that the problem is going far deeper than that, and that there is at least some part of our future in moving further away than data security and into ethics and what kind of data is being created and understanding it in more depth. And there's a lot to say about how our platform does that and why we are a little bit more focused on trust, on AI, trustworthy AI, and on identifying how to build AI which is easy to interrogate and to understand by people. But I will just outline a couple of things. First of all, we tend to stay away from very large AI systems which are inscrutable, which are difficult to understand. And we use instead meshes of smaller AI models that we can manipulate even at our size with the business processes that we have. And the second thing is we tend to be very conscious about, self-conscious about the data that we use to train these AI. So we have people actually looking with other AI pipelines at the data. We don't just distill information from the LLMs into our models. We can actually control and analyze the data with high standards of quality to get a very good understanding of how our AI models are trained and what exactly are they about.
You said an interesting point about the growth of generative AI tools, and it's really exciting what the possibilities, and I've seen it firsthand over the last couple of weeks, how these tools have been able to use, I suppose, leverage the technology to analyze, the hundreds of thousands of records and be able to give knowledge reports and insights and dial it up or dial it down depending on the audience. that you're trying to go after. However, privacy is obviously a challenge, and there's certain guardrails that
Yes.
need to be put into perspective. You mentioned that Getvisibility uses an AI mesh or smaller focus models rather than relying on large opaque models. Can you discuss the benefits of this approach, particularly in terms of explainability and trust?
Sure. So there is really no silver bullet when it comes to reducing complexity. If you have a complex problem, like identifying whether some set of documents have personal information or they're biased in a certain way, that's something that you need to throw a large number of machine learning parameters at to solve, right? You can't just get away from that. But you have an option of solving that with a larger model, your GPT-3s and so on, or the likes, or with a collection of smaller models that are kind of taken together as one big committee and pretty much have the same mass, but there are some kind of assumptions made in there that make this collection more manageable. And we think that the larger models are the answers for the core problems of companies going forward. So you will want a GPT-4-like model to solve cancer or something like that, or to be the core process, because they're they swallow a lot of internal complexity. They abstractize that away. But we think that the AI mesh, the committee of smaller models, is something that you want to deploy when trust and explainability and ultimately the ethical use of the system is in question. And we think this is going to be complementary. This is going to be the system that's deployed alongside the mainline AI model to make sure that the mainline model doesn't lie for once, and that the results make sense, and that the data that is being fed into the model and generated from the model actually makes sense. And you can envisage, I mean, there are so many discussions right now. There's the regulatory discussion. Everybody's trying to regulate the use of large AI. There's the liability discussion. I am rolling out a large AI, how liable I am for it to learn something that it shouldn't learn, or to regurgitate some PII or some copyrighted information. All of these discussions, we think, are in the area that will ultimately be reached by machine learning systems designed to censor and analyze the outputs of other machine learning systems.
So if I just delve into that a little bit further, so with the increasing regulatory scrutiny on data security and ethics, how does the platform adapt to different regulatory landscapes and ethical considerations?
Yeah, well, yes, that's a very good question, because that's actually the challenge. We get that a lot in terms of when people talk about, well, how do you make sense of all this thing, right? What's the deal with having the mesh, and how do you make it wrap around all this nonsense, which may be different between the European Union, the US, and all the markets that we're in? And the way we do it is we kind of we go back deep into the 80s, when they were building knowledge bases and conventional artificial intelligence systems, way before neural networks were getting a foothold in the AI space. And we're starting from the generic elements, the things that would be useful to most of these certifications and regulation patterns, like everybody's sooner or later going to be interested in detecting PII, because PII is a very sensitive aspect of most of these types of regulations. And then there is some form of export control on sensitive technology that many people are interested in. And then there may be some sorts of biases that people are starting to hunt for in AI outputs, and we go into the whole discussion here about diversity biases, age, gender, and so on, and that we may detect with AI. So these are generic problems that we introduce into our mesh, and we decompose into other, even smaller factors. And then we grow the mesh with very specific tailored AI solutions around the generic problems, but which realistically, because of the way the mesh is constructed, involve only one or two nodes, terminal nodes, and a minority of the number of parameters that we deploy.
And you currently support 12 languages. How has this multilingual capability made your solution more inclusive?
That was something that we absolutely worked on for a long time, because we've tried different ideas. I think, Mark, I think the first time we met, we were in a Cork meetup in 2018, I think a few years ago. and we were talking about intermediary representations of data, which is my favorite AI topic. And it turns out that there are many ways to do it, and there's a lot of active research in the area, especially from Facebook and so on. But the solution that we've regressed on after a lot of trial and error is language-agnostic document vectors. We use document vectors in our system for many reasons. Essentially, most of our models don't look at the original text. They look at very compressed, lossy compression. You can think of it as an MP3 of the file, compressed versions of the original text. And we do that because people are sensitive about giving us data to train, but they're more open when we tell them, well, we just want a signature of the data, a trace that doesn't hold it's completely anonymized, it doesn't hold any of the original information, and you can let us train on that, but it does give us some information. So we've been working a lot with document vectors since our founding, some 6 years or 5 years ago. And we've basically naturally grown in the direction of making the document vectors language agnostic, which is something that a whole bunch of people do, including Facebook and so on. So the way it works is that our document vectors, when we read a file, the information that is generated from that file, the signature of the file, is the same for the same contents in different languages. If you get the same file, you translate it from English into one of the other 11 languages that we support. I think it's Arabic, French, Spanish, Chinese, Thai, and a long list. Then the information extracted by our systems from the file would be very similar, and therefore the classification outcomes would be very similar.
So my final question is to do with, in the application, when I was reading this, you kind of mentioned the concept of committees of AI to measure the diversity of text data and reduce bias. Can you elaborate on this innovative approach and its potential impact on data governance?
Yes, of course. So we were very enthusiastic when GPT 3.5 and then GPT 4 came out, because we saw the opportunity of using the machine learning models in our day-to-day data science processes. And while at the same time not putting this kind of technology up front in our product line, we are using it, leveraging it heavily in the back end. Our data science team uses these large AI pipelines that are leaning on data, right? This is the discipline. We're basically trying to make as much sense of the data that we have. So we work with OpenAI a lot, with GPTs and with in-house large language models. And we ask them questions like, how similar are these two files? Or can you generate a file that is synthetic, but similar to this guy, to this other file, and has these similar criteria? Or what is the likelihood of some sort of bias or some sort of personal information being recomposed from this file? You can think about it as something like k-anonymity, which is like a topic discussed a lot in database anonymization, but a soft version for unstructured data. And the way we do it, because unstructured data is complex, is we ask these models all the time a lot of questions. And we know that the models lie and that they make no sense sometimes, or that maybe we're not using the appropriate model for the appropriate task. So what we do is we build a committee. We ask many of them, and then we measure the level of agreement, and we ask them over a population of files, and we let the errors cancel out. And in the end, we get a good signal about what we're interested in the population of files. Right now, we're heavily interested in security and in risk assessments and in making our classifiers, our models better. So we're asking the AI questions like the diversity of the corpus that we have here, or how likely it is to generate synthetic data, or stuff related to the common sense of the problems. But we're just scratching the surface, because underneath there is so much about the generic risk, like the regulatory risk, the risk that the AI makes some horrible mistake in generating all that content, and figuring out a way to have the data science team do concerted prompts like this is, I think, a good technology to have in the repository.
Vlad Constantinescu, Head of Data Science at Getvisibility, thank you very much for joining us today and telling us a little bit more about your application and being a finalist at this year's AI Awards for AI and Ethics. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate it.
really excited to unveil my new book, AI Unleashed, Navigating the AI Revolution as a Business Executive, which is now accessible to purchase on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. This publication is the fruit of half a decade's worth of meticulous research and high-level conversations with experts in the field, both in Ireland and globally. The book is particularly timely, featuring current discussions on AI governance in the European Union and North America. If you're aiming to grasp the full scope of AI, ready your enterprise for its transformative power, and utilize it to your advantage, this book is specifically crafted for you. It serves as a pragmatic guide, clarifying misconceptions and presenting real-world insights for leaders entering the AI sphere. The book covers an extensive array of subjects, from AI's role in diverse industries to generative AI applications, and provides guidance on avoiding typical missteps in AI initiatives, all supported by the most recent studies. Additionally, the book highlights case studies and applications that have earned accolades at AI awards throughout the years and emphasizes top-notch AI utilization in Ireland. For executives, poly-architects, or technology aficionados seeking to make sense of the intricate world of AI Unleashed, Navigating AI Revolution is your essential handbook. So it's now available on Amazon. This book furnishes you with the expertise and instruments required to deploy AI both effectively and ethically. Join us at the AI Ireland Awards 2023, presented by principal sponsor Microsoft, on the 21st November at the Gibson Hotel, Dublin 1. You'll discover the pinnacle of AI innovation on the island of Ireland. The AI Ireland Awards 2023 ceremony, proudly presented by principal sponsor Microsoft, celebrates excellence in data science, machine learning and artificial intelligence, showcasing AI applications across multiple industries and AI for social good. Get your tickets at Eventbrite or AIireland.ie.